welcome aboard to the 2024 Toyota Corolla Hatchback SE. Let me show you guys around. For just over $25,000, you get a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It's not bad, and it's definitely quicker than you think thanks to the low-end torque. Let's begin this review with the front end of the Corolla. I absolutely love the full LED headlights and turn signals, as well as your fog lights. I like how it's nice and thin on the front with a nice big grille underneath. It's definitely a really nice way to break it up. Now, we definitely have some very basic 16-inch alloy wheels, but they give you nice thick rubber, so your ride is going to be incredibly smooth. I also like the door-mounted mirrors. They definitely feel very high-end, especially thanks to those LED turn signals in the corners. This side profile is overall incredibly simple. I love the way Toyota designed this hatchback. They definitely made it look more like the European Auris that this replaced in international markets, as opposed to the Matrix and Corolla IM that this replaced in the United States. Definitely a more European look, and I quite like it. As a matter of fact, this vehicle is actually built in Japan. Every single part of this vehicle comes from Japan, making it a true Toyota, and I really like that part. We also have full keyless entry that is touch sensitive, a feature that for the most part you're only going to find on very expensive $50,000 plus vehicles. Given that this is half the price, that's pretty great. But by far, this back end is my favorite part of this Corolla hatchback, and it quite separates it from the sedan. Not only do you have a liftgate on the back with a built-in wiper, but I also really like these LED taillights and turn signals, and I love how the amber part is also LED, unlike the sedan. I also really like the SE badge there. I like the way you have a giant Toyota badge right there with the rear view camera, and you even have a little pocket right there to easily access and open the hatch. But I think that the Corolla's best features lie inside of its interior. So let's go ahead and activate the keyless entry and check it out real quick. The inside of the Toyota Corolla is very simple, but it's a really nice place to be. I love how they still kept all of the steering wheel controls that are present on higher end Toyotas, including these forward and next buttons, which are absolutely important. The back and next buttons, I should say. All your cruise controls are right here. You can change your music mode there, and this left side will control your semi-digital display. Now, in my opinion, I love how they kept to the analog screen, but also gave you a fully digital one in the middle, which gives you a ton of information, such as your efficiency, digital speedometer, adaptive cruise control, your audio, your trip meter. You can customize all of your safety features, and you can even check for warning messages there too. So a lot of information can be displayed on that center screen, even though it is quite small. Down here you have your dash illumination controls, automatic headlights. Your headlights can be easily adjusted here, which is really nice on your turn signal stock, which feels very nicely dampened. Feels like something that should be in a higher end vehicle, but we get it in this Corolla. Over here you have your wiper adjustment, which is really nice. This one actually, if I look at my semi-frameless rear view mirror here, it actually adjusts the rear wiper, which I really appreciate. So unlike the sedan, you get a full rear wiper, which is awesome. We also have a nice little horn. It definitely sounds like a small car horn, and the steering wheel column is also pretty versatile too. If you pull down this lever, it is fully tilting and telescoping, which is obviously common on most Toyotas, but it's worth mentioning on a car at this low of a price point. You have your regular mirror adjustments right over here. I also like your one touch down and one touch up windows there. That's great. Lock controls are there, window switches are there. Everything is really easy to use in this interior. I also really like this screen. Now, it is quite a bit smaller than a lot of the newer stuff that Toyota is putting out, but you do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as Sirius XM on this head unit, and it's fully customizable and it's very fluid to use. It's a fantastic system, and Toyota has absolutely nailed it in my opinion. Now, going down a little bit, you can see we have fully physical climate controls. We have your fan speed right there, and we have your temperature adjustment, and as you can see, it's incredibly easy to jump from low to high on those autumn days when it's really cold in the morning and really hot in the afternoon. You can change your air modes right there very easily, and I like this because you don't have to look at these while you're driving. A very well done system by Toyota there. Down here you have a wireless charging pad which can be turned on and off to make sure it's not draining your car battery. The one thing I do wish it had is a little indent for our phones that have protruding camera lenses, such as the iPhone 14 Pro that is recording this. Over here you have your transmission that controls your CVT transmission. Honestly, the Toyota CVT is not bad. I think that you guys are gonna really like it, and if not, you can get a 6-speed manual in these Corollas, which is freaking awesome. And if you want to go a step further, you can get the GR Corolla, which is manual only and has a lot more power. Now, of course, you can select your drive modes here. Let's go run those through on the screen. If you press up, it activates sport, down for normal, and down again for eco. So you can customize this car to drive exactly how you want it. Again, a very nice feature at this price point. Working our way down, we have your electromechanical parking brake, the hold button, and the cup holders. Now, one thing that's a little annoying about these cup holders is there's no indentations anywhere, so your cups just kind of flow around wherever. It does work really well with my particular Starbucks cup, but not so well in this cup holder. And that's annoying because this center armrest fully extends, which is nice. I love this feature because you can put your elbow here and grip the steering wheel here, but that coffee cup can no longer get there because it is too tall. So unless you have a shorter coffee cup, you're out of luck. Now, opening this center console, you can see we have a USB-C port and a little 12-volt socket with some decent storage, which is actually a little bit bigger than what the Germans offer, which is fantastic. We also have another USB Type-C port down here as well. So Toyota is really forward thinking. They're going all in on USB-C. Over here we have a non-lockable glove box, but as you can see, it has a ton of room because there's no computers taking up any room in there. The computer is all present up here, or so it seems. Now let's take a look at these seats for a second. While they are cloth, they are very comfortable. I also like this little pattern in here. They decided to make it a little more fun, and they also have really great padding and great bolstering. So while they're not heated or ventilated or anything like that, they're fully manual cloth seats. They're extremely comfortable, so don't even worry about that. But overall, the Corolla's front end is very simple, but it's very cool looking at the same time. Now, working our way up, we have sun visors with little extendy bitch, which is really cool. And we even have little convenience lights as well. Up here, all your typical light controls, as well as your telematics and your passenger airbag lights. Now, let's jump to the back seat of the Toyota Corolla, where I actually have more amenities than you might expect. With this seat in my default driving position, I have lots of legroom, and I have quite a decent amount of headroom back here as well because this is a hatchback. Now, working our way down, we have two more USB Type-C ports. We have our very own cup holder in the back here as well. It's a little small, but it is nice that we get it. We have a little grab handle here and an armrest. The only complaint I have back here is that my elbow hits the back of the body way too close, and I can't extend my arm as far as I'd want to. But that's the only gripe I have. We have nice little door pockets here, and we even have a center armrest with even more cup holders. Again, they're very basic cup holders, but for this price point, again, they get the job done. We also have little latch anchors back here if you want to put car seats in. So overall, while very basic, the Corolla's back seat is a very nice place to be, and I could see myself being back here for a decently long drive. But I must not forget this nice little convenience light, which is also LED. Very nice. But let's jump to the very small trunk area of the Corolla Hatch, where we have this very small but very nicely padded trunk area. As you can see, this is about the length of my arm, so it's not that big back here. You could put a couple groceries and maybe a couple suitcases. You definitely want to fold the seats down if you want to take advantage of that. But if we push down and pull up on this here, we do have a space saver spare, which is awesome. We also have this little parcel shelf that can be disconnected with these little hooks here, so you can really hide away your stuff and treat it like a sedan if you want to. Up here we have the little levers to fold the seats down, as I'm going to attempt on camera here. Push that down, and you can get a little more space in your Corolla hatchback and turn it into a very small van. Plus, we have these nice little flaps, so that way your floor can be truly flat. That is definitely a great feature and a great way to get some extra cubic feet if you ever want to use your Corolla for any kind of transport. Now, that's not going to be the main thing that this Corolla Hatch is going to do. It's nice that it can do it. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the driving impressions of the Toyota Corolla. For one, I actually find it very fun to drive. The steering is light, but it has a little bit of a weight to it, especially when you get going on the road. I like the lightness because it makes maneuvering in tight spaces very easy, especially since this vehicle has an amazing turning radius. Now, working our way down here, you can see that Unfortunately, yes, we do have a top-mounted pedal, but it does feel great on my feet, and it is incredibly easy to accelerate because it's got a little bit of a curve to it. So honestly, not a deal breaker in my opinion, but I do wish they gave it a floor-mounted one. Of course, your brake pedal has a great feel to it. The vehicle stops very easily, especially with its 170 horsepower. You're not going to be going too fast in the Corolla, so as fast as you need to go, you can hit the brakes and stop the car pretty quickly. But acceleration is pretty good in this vehicle too. Even though it only has 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque, the torque is accessible from a very low range. And so this thing accelerates to 60 extremely quickly, definitely quicker than a 169 horsepower vehicle with a naturally aspirated engine. So definitely a benefit of the turbo there, but overall, I love the way that this Toyota Corolla drives. Definitely takes a bit of getting used to, but it is a fun car to drive at the end of the day. And so for only $25,000, and you can get it for less if you go with a base model LE, I highly recommend the 2024 Toyota Corolla Hatchback as the perfect starter car. It's a fantastic car for the money. It offers everything you need, and it's very basic, but it's got all the safety features you need. It's a very safe car to drive. And for that, thank you so much for watching this review of the 2024 Toyota Corolla Hatchback SE. I hope you guys check out my other reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.